Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Shoeless Joe's podcast, who made a podcast heard around the world. This is our first episode of 2021, so a happy New Year's, and it's important to you. So thanks. Please join us for this new year. We're going to shout out the socials, but also this is going to be a big year for us. We want to take steps with this podcast. We want to blow it up. We really want it to be heard all around the world. We know we've hit a couple of countries and singular people overseas, but really we want to get this podcast out. We want to make a better product for you guys. And so in saying that, let's get the socials out. The Shoeless Joe's Pod on Twitter and Instagram. And definitely follow the YouTube page if we can post this video on there at the Shoeless Joe's Podcast, right?
Yes, Shoeless Joe's Podcast. And then obviously, as Obi always says, you gotta hit the bell, throw a like, throw a subscribe. I mean, the socials will be right here on the screen, right next to Obi on Obi's right. So hit those, check those out. But yeah, like Isaiah said, it's a new year, and I mean, we've been talking. We got a lot of things planned, a lot of new creative stuff for the YouTube channel. Obviously, we're going to keep coming with the podcast, but we're going to try to do other stuff to get you guys more engaged and keep trying to build that community we've been talking about. But yeah, on that note, we might as well get into our content for today's episode. Our first plan for this episode was to cover all the NFL playoff stories that have happened so far, and then give you guys our previews for the upcoming playoff matchups. So first, to get right into it, I know we waited we didn't know if we would even get here with all the COVID and stuff going on. How do you guys feel to sit down and finally watch a nice playoff football on the past weekend?
It was exciting. It was a nice couple great storylines we had this weekend. We got a quarterback earning some money over there in Washington, hopefully, in Heineke. What other stories we had this week? Oh, Phillip Rivers' possible last game. That's crazy.
Apparently, the Browns are not indeed the Browns. So Juju.
And also, Lamar Jack can win a playoff game. All right, let's stop this narrative. All right, even though he had to run most of the game, he ran into the end zone enough times.
Big win for the community. We'll definitely say that. But on that note, I mean, I guess that's a good game to start with. We can start off with Baltimore at Tennessee. And the first half, it was really looking scary for the Baltimore and specifically Lamar Jackson. I mean, that first pick he threw trying to throw that route to Hollywood it was all over the internet. Didn't know where that ball was being thrown. But I mean, in the second half, they really locked it in, and it turned into a defensive battle. We knew that Tennessee was going to try to come in and control the game with Derrick Henry, but it seems like the Ravens had all the answers for that. So what were your guys' thoughts on Lamar, how the Ravens matched up, and maybe Derrick Henry and the Titans offense? What went wrong?
Lamar definitely stepped up to the plate when it was done, but we got to give a big shout-out to that Ravens defense. To that game, above 2,000 yards rushing, and I think he was held for
like 60, 50, something like that.
18 attempts to 40 yards. So
my goodness.
Averaging 2.2 an attempt. Like that is ridiculous. So shout out to those boys. Was Calais Campbell playing that game? Calais Campbell was in that game, and Yannick. Hi, job boy.
Nah, they was talking a lot during that game, especially in the game in the season when Tennessee had came out and stepped all over the Ravens, emblem in the middle of the field, which has been a thing in the NFL this year really often. I haven't seen it since T.O. came and slammed the ball in the Dallas Star, and then they murked him. Yeah, they killed him. But so obviously you don't do that, and it obviously hasn't been done since. But the league has gotten soft. The league has gotten soft.
The league has gotten soft. But, bro, to end the game like that, stomping on that Titans emblem, bro, yo, you got to be sick.
The thing is, when they did that, bro, the game was not even completely over yet because Tennessee still had 3 timeouts. Tennessee still had 3 timeouts, and there was like 2 minutes left, so they could have really backfired. And on that same play, too, it was just unfortunate. Like, Tannehill didn't even make a bad throw. Like, I think was it A.J. Brown or was it Corey Davis? Whoever it was just fell on their break and just fell and went straight.
I'm pretty sure it was A.J. Brown.
Yeah, so that was kind of unfortunate to see. But
guy said Corey Davis. Corey Davis has been cut from the Titans for like 2 years now.
All right, well, that one's on me. I suppose. I got no answers to that one.
That man kept breaking his hand.
Nah, AJ Brown was balling out in the first half, but they credits to that Ravens defense. Like they could not open up the pass without that Derrick Henry run, and with them stopping that, they knew exactly what was coming. They were literally playing into Baltimore's hands, so that game was bad for Tennessee.
If you guys don't have anything else on that game, we can transition to the next one. Chicago, New Orleans, a game that in the first half was very actually competitive and interesting. I mean, a few big swing plays went against Chicago, and I mean, New Orleans didn't look that sharp, but they're going to have a challenge this week. What did you think about how New Orleans performed? What did you think about Trubisky? And what do you think is going on in the future with Chicago?
I feel like New Orleans, they like kind of underplayed, kind of played through their competition. Like they're definitely a better team on paper than Chicago. But shout out to Mitch Trubisky. He knows the organization doesn't want him anymore and still found the way to ball out. I'm looking here now, 19 for 29, 199 yards, and he took care of the football. He did everything they pretty much asked him to do. But like I said, that New Orleans team is just better on paper, But 9-21, that's not even a pretty bad score for Chicago.
No, and Chicago's defense is good, but like you said, there were a lot of swing plays. I don't know what's that kid's name, like Wims or something.
Yeah.
Bro, cut him like y'all cut Cody Parkey, bro. Because that drop is ridiculous. To be in the National Football League and to drop a touchdown pass like that
in the playoffs,
in the wild card game is ridiculous.
Right?
Yeah.
Like the little fleet when they were in the action.
Yeah. Trubisky's not even good at downfield throws, but that throw was on the money. Like that is a game-changing play.
Yo, I saw so many pictures of his hands like this and the ball hitting his thigh, bro. Like it was so bad. But I mean, their defense made Drew Brees uncomfortable in the first half, and I feel like that's going to be kind of the theme of the playoffs for New Orleans. Like we all know what Kamara is going to do, and I feel like he's going to eat up a lot of yards, just him and Michael Thomas on those short throws because people don't trust Brees' arm as much anymore.
Thomas.
So they're going to get after him and make him quit. I don't agree. I don't endorse that message, but they're going to get after Drew Brees and see how much he really has left. It's going to be interesting because they're going into a division matchup, which we'll get to those predictions in a little bit. But what did you think about Brees and the Saints offense?
Now, this could also be his last hurrah. Like, Drew Brees could be out after this. Drew Brees is like 42. Like, when you start to think about it, like, guys being that old playing in the NFL, like, the kind of toll you take on your body. Him being a short guy and undersized guy, he's done a lot with his career, and he leads like he currently is the leader in passing yards.
Yeah.
He'll be taking over soon, but that feat alone is like amazing and tremendous. But I don't know how much he has left, but I think the skill position players on his team could carry him to a win. I mean, I don't know if they'll make the Super Bowl. The NFC is kind of close though.
No, yeah, the NFC is it's kind of
now
that they weeded them out, but it is interesting.
No, it's interesting because like the rest of the way, these games are most likely going to be shootouts the rest of the way with who they face because they're playing Tampa Bay this week and then they play who is it? Either the Rams or Green Bay,
Packers,
which would be a shootout. And then if you go to the Super Bowl, it's going to be probably Kansas City, unless Josh Allen has something to say about it. So it's
or like Baker.
Nah, you're foul. You're foul.
The Browns are gonna get clapped.
Chase Claypool the clown for that.
They're gonna get
clapped, so it don't really matter.
You saw Ryan Clark was tight about it. He said, "I don't understand the new generation of athletes." He said, "It doesn't matter if you get clapped because they beat y'all." I mean, it's true though. You can't say that.
If he believes if he believes that the Browns are gonna get clapped, what do you think he was thinking if they're gonna play the Chiefs next?
That's what I'm saying. Like, and then he was watching film on TikTok, which is mad weird. But who knows? All right, next game. We can go Los Angeles, Seattle. A game that really was interesting because of the fact that the Rams starter got hurt on that hit from Jamal Adams, and then they brought in Jared Goff, and it seemed like their offense kind of picked up speed from there. And it feels like, especially like the way that they were phrasing it, at least the commentators were saying that maybe McVay thought it was a good thing because he wanted him to start what's his name, Warford.
Yeah, Walford.
Yeah, I think they were saying that how they really liked the way he looked in Week 17, and and they gave him more options as an offense. And then I guess Jared Goff heard all that, and then went out and had a really solid game. And on the other side of the ball, the Seahawks could not get anything going against that Rams defense, who's been a great defense all year. A lot of sacks, a lot of pressure.
Shut out.
Yeah,
I think they got to Russell Wilson 5 times that game too.
Yeah, and he was never able to sit in the pocket and make throws. So what did you see in that game from Jared Goff and this LA defense, but also from Russell Wilson and the Seahawks? And what do you think the future is there in Seattle?
Right, go ahead.
I was gonna say like the game was pretty close. It was a close game in the beginning of the fourth, and I think that's when Aaron Donald went out. And the fact that the Rams were still getting pressure to Russell Wilson at that point, like they definitely got to address their online issues that they've been having. Like I understand Russell Wilson's that magic man, but like you can't expect them to get through it all. Like they got to address something with that online, man. And DK got to work on them hands, man. Can't be 5 and dropping shit, man.
Now, yeah, that was rough, but I hit y'all earlier in the day, and I gave my predictions for that game, and I didn't have confidence in the Seahawks going in just because of how like bad their defense had been to begin with.
I think we both had the Rams, right?
Yeah, we both picked the Rams. And Mike had the Seahawks, so he was wrong. But now, yeah, I Russell Wilson is great, and that offense is good with Lockett and Metcalf. But I just felt like the Rams, Sean McVay dialing up plays. And the kind of confidence they had in Walford, I was just like, well, I don't think they lose this game, especially with that defense.
Yeah, and like I did pick Seattle because I think like all year and like even against like in like when I helped my dad like with the spreads and stuff and all that, like I've always picked Seattle, and every time I picked Seattle, they ended up failing me. So I figured, and I was like, all right, well they're going to the playoffs. Russ is gonna step up, and it just didn't happen. Like he didn't even have a chance. Like we saw DK throwing his like helmet and getting mad and stuff. But like at the end of the day, like there was nothing Russ could do because he didn't even have time, especially with a corner like Jalen Ramsey in the area to make those reads. And I remember one play when I forgot who the safety was, blew up DK on like a crossing route, and he got like crushed. And I've never seen DK like get like hit like that in NFL games. It just looked like everything that Seattle tried to do, LA was one step ahead. So it's going to be interesting to see, like Obi said, like what they do with their O-line and how they build going forward. But what about Jared Goff? What did you guys think about Goff?
Stepped up.
Now he came in and did his job. He did exactly what he was supposed to do. He didn't have the best season, but he wasn't one of the worst quarterbacks in the league. Like Robert Woods, Cooper Kupp. Cooper Kupp, I think, went out, but that was like towards the end. But But yeah, that offense is like been catering to him. He's been making that offense go. They were just moving on to a new guy because wasn't his finger hurt?
Yeah, broke
Jared Goff. Yeah, Jared Goff broke his
yeah.
finger, but no, he came in and did what he had to do. He managed the game well enough for them to win.
I just want to say before we move on, I went perfect on my picks.
For all the entire wild card?
The whole wild card, I went perfect.
Impressive. That is impressive. I will not lie, because Seattle did not do me any favors. I guess
All season long.
Never
did me any favors.
Zoom just gave me a nice gift, so we're chilling.
I'm saying.
Transitioning to the last game in the NFC, we had Tampa Bay and the Washington football team. Yeah, almost caught me there. But that was an interesting game, a game that people thought was going to be a blowout. It was going to be a blowout. And like you said, Henke stepped up. It made it for an interesting game. They even had a chance to go down and tie the game late in the fourth quarter. What did you think about that game? And do you think it's concerning for Tampa Bay that Washington was even in that football game down the stretch?
You want to go, Obi?
I don't know. I don't think it was that concerning. You gotta remember. I don't think Levante David even played that game, right? I'm pretty sure he was hurt.
Yeah.
He's expected back. I don't think it was crazy concerning. Like, you have Brady, you're expected to win that game. Take control of the ball, take care of it. But if I'm the rest of the NFC, I'm concerned because Brady and Antonio Brown, they're on the same wavelength again. So like that's the most concerning thing I would have noticed coming out of that game.
Now they're definitely clicking, and like Chase Young said, Heineke was balling out. He was balling out, and which only hurt me more because had the Eagles, we didn't get to talk about this the week before.
Oh yeah.
Had the Eagles not sat Jalen Hurts and the New York Football Giants had gotten into this game, there's something in me that tells me that Daniel Jones could have done a better job than Heineke, bro.
Better job. What
Yes,
the heck
bro.
did you do wrong?
He didn't do anything wrong. I just think Daniel Jones is better. Daniel Jones has been playing all season. Heineke was trying to graduate this year, bro. This semester. So what I'm saying is
My son had an assignment due that
the
day.
Giants defense, I'm saying, man.
11:59.
What he end up doing? Just dropping his classes? There's no way he's also being a quarterback.
He asked for extensions. You got proof that he's doing shit.
That's wild.
Just turn on channel 4 at this time, and I promise you I'll be on there.
Give him an incomplete.
Sitting down right there.
No, that was definitely an interesting game, and I mean, who knows what his future is now in the NFL? Probably did earn himself some kind of look next season.
But they don't have anybody. Washington doesn't have anybody right now.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting what they do. I mean, I don't think you can go into training camp with him as your starter or anything, and I feel like that's a bit premature, if anything. But I mean, the on the defensive side of the ball, and with Terry McLaurin and Gibson, I think their future is definitely bright. I really think they are like a quarterback away from being a really good team in the
Probably
NFC.
gonna end up drafting Bama's quarterback.
Mac Jones.
Yeah.
It's possible. I mean, they really just need – that is a real flaw in their entire team. So, if they made the playoffs, obviously it was a bad division, but with no stability at that position all year. So,
bro, that's crazy to think about. I never really thought about it like that. Like, it's really just a quarterback away. Like, they got the D-line. They got the receiving core.
They got the coach and Riverboat.
Yeah. So, I mean, that would be a big offseason for them. So, 2 last games, both in the AFC. We had the game that everyone was tuned in and talking about, Cleveland Browns finally winning a playoff game, defeating the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Spanking them boys.
28-0 in the first quarter. Got up to a rough start with that snap going right into the – Bro, you saw the video of, like, they was down by, like, 20, and he
started dancing. Nah. Yes, bro. What is wrong with you?
Yeah, I don't know. And going into a free agency off season, I don't know if Juju went into it on the best terms.
Wait, Juju's a free agent?
Yeah, so I don't know what he was doing all this nonsense for. Because
I mean, he's gonna get signed back.
I mean, he might cost himself a few dollars somewhere. But what did you think about Cleveland? Do you think that they will be any threat in the AFC the rest of the way? And what do you think about? Obviously, I mean, there's a lot to say about Big Ben because it might be time for, even if he's not done playing football, it might be time for the Steelers to be done with him playing football for their team.
Don't know about that one, but Cleveland, they did a great job, man. Like they took advantage of their opportunities. Like there's nothing more we've been asking for Baker to do. Like all these commercials, but we were always asking for the production, and he produced. He produced that game. But as for Big Ben though, Big Ben is always best when he gotta go get that lead and he's calling his own plays and he's playing that backyard football, bro. There's nothing more, bro. I don't watch Big Ben a lot, but I feel like when I do, I always see him catching up and playing that way, bro. He played the same way against Jacksonville, bro. That was one of the best performances ever, bro. I think he had 5 touchdowns that game too.
Yeah, I remember that,
bro. That shit was ridiculous. But like maybe it's time to go like start grooming that your next future quarterback. I don't think it's time to get rid of Big Ben if he wants to keep playing again.
No, I agree with you. Because he did end that game with 500 yards passing. But yeah, I mean, it was just costly mistakes, and I think it was just those Cleveland capitalizing on those mistakes. I think they scored off of every turnover, like just being efficient with the football and putting up points constantly. That really got them to win. They didn't almost come back because some of them was like garbage point, but I think the Steelers, had they not made those mistakes, I think they would have beat them, but barely beat them. So I think we'd be talking about them in the same vein as like a Tampa Bay, who they didn't face such a great team, but they didn't face such a great team, but they put up a fight.
Yeah, because
Saints.
yeah, you saw once they got settled in,
Too.
like they really once the Steelers got settled in, like the rest of the game was fairly competitive. I mean, obviously that means because Cleveland probably took their foot off the gas a little bit in terms of like shortening up their playbook just to take care of the football. But I mean, I think the way that Cleveland's offense, obviously the defense was huge and creating turnovers, but the way that their offense dictated that game was really impressive. Like I didn't expect Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt to have that much success on the ground, and then from there, you know that's getting Baker Mayfield on the play actions and bootlegs is where he's most comfortable. Like that throw to Jarvis was an amazing throw, just carving up that defense. And I didn't think they would be able to do that, but I guess that shows what happens when you have a pretty decent offensive line. Because if not, T.J. Watt and the rest of that defense would have ran wild. So it was really impressive from Cleveland. And then they can't get complacent because I mean Kareem Hunt is talking about revenge games already, and people was not happy with him on the internet because it was like,
whoa, are you for real?
Yeah, he was like next week is personal, and I was like, bro, it's not personal. You abused a woman. It was on you.
This punter is out of his mind. Yo, what is wrong with him?
Yeah, so people was talking about, bro, Kansas City fans and Cleveland fans were both mad at him in the replies. So that's gonna be it's gonna be interesting to see how that game.
Thanks a lot, Kareem.
And then the last game that happened was actually another competitive game, a very interesting game to kick off Wildcard Weekend. Josh Allen, the Buffalo Bills against Phillip Rivers. What made this game interesting was the fact that really, aside from a few questionable calls maybe by the head coach of Indy, I mean, they really executed their game plan to perfection. Like their goal was to keep the ball away from Josh Allen for as much as time. They dominated time of possession. Like they did what they were supposed to do. And they had a chance late in that game. I mean, they kind of messed up the 2-minute drill. They had a chance to get in the field goal range to tie that game, ended up having to settle for a Hail Mary. Right. But I mean, we were talking about it in the group chat as it happened. They left points on the board at the end of the first half, which turned into points for Buffalo on the other end, and that really swung the game. So what did you guys
trash?
What you guys think?
Frank Reich is their head coach, I think, right?
Yeah. So what do you think their future holds? Who?
Michael Pittman, bro. That should have been
yeah. Phillip Rivers put it right there. I think in the future, I don't know what they think of Jacoby Brissett. They do throw him in only to run the football from the quarterback position, though, which is ridiculous. But I mean, Phillip Rivers hasn't made a final decision on whether or not he's playing next season. He's been leaning towards retiring. But I think he put a lot into that game, and if you saw like the post game interviews, like he was really emotional, and it seemed like he had built a real bond with his team, and they really thought they could take down the Bills, who had came into this game flaming hot off of this amazing season they had, Stephon Diggs and Josh Allen taking over the league. So hopefully he stays one more year because I liked him on his team. I think Jonathan Taylor, his sophomore year is going to be stupid. I think he's one of the better running backs in the league, but just didn't get a lot of time to prove it. Him and Naeem Hines in that backfield, I think that's a good backfield. I think they have a solid offense, and their defense was one of the top in the league this year. So I think they're set up well, but they could lose a quarterback and then be a quarterback away from being a great team.
And I mean, there was talks about the Wentz to like reunite with Wright and see how that goes, but I don't know if that's possible. But yeah, I agree.
And I feel like they got another big goal to fill. I can't remember his name right now. Just retired, bro. He's one of the top guards in the league. Andrew something.
A standstill?
Yeah. I feel like
something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
I feel like that's another hole they gotta fill over there. But I mean, they're still in pretty good shape. Like you said, like they gotta figure out what's going on with Phillip Rivers filling that guard spot. Man, they're in good shape.
Yeah, I mean, another playmaker wouldn't hurt on the outside. I mean, they have a lot of good running backs. Wasn't Marlon Mack out for the year too? So they'll probably be getting him back.
Yeah.
So they have a lot of weapons in the backfield. Jack Doyle's a solid tight end. I mean, Mo Alley Cox too. So they just really do need that.
T.Y. started becoming himself toward the end of the season as well.
So if
in the beginning of the season, he wasn't really producing that much, but towards the end of the season, they started using him more. And Zach Pascal.
Yeah. And like the secondary receivers they have are solid, so just adding another guy in there can be very interesting.
A Juju Smith-Schuster.
we haven't even talked about Buffalo yet. What did you guys think about Josh Allen's performance and This is a scary team that I don't think anybody will be excited to see. What did you think about that from a Buffalo perspective?
Bro, they was on. What were they saying about Josh Allen, bro? Like they were saying like he had a certain arrogance to him, like, and I loved it, bro. Like that wasn't a ridiculous game by Josh Allen. Like he literally he got everything that he wanted that game. Like he really showed that he really put in that the time this off season, and they were saying that he was perfecting his what do you call it, his throwing mechanics and everything. Like it was like those little. It's crazy that those little differences, those little changes, like really make a difference in your game, and it's really elevating him to becoming like one of those top guys, those constant MVP conversation guys. And I'm excited to see the future in Buffalo with him. Like it's crazy.
Yeah, on the earlier episodes of the Shoeless Joe's podcast, me and Mike would talk Daniel Jones and Sam Darnold, but I think we also had a Sam Darnold, Josh Allen conversation, either inside or outside of the podcast, where Mike would only bring up how Josh Allen couldn't throw to receivers. His accuracy was terrible, and then came off the season, and if it weren't for Aaron Rodgers, he might have won MVP.
Yeah, I mean, bro, like last year, he had the highest like high pass percentage, low pass percentage, overthrow percentage, like every missed throw category, he was leading it. And like coming out of that draft, like that was a draft with like Baker, Lamar, Rosen, Darnold, like there was so many good prospects. And I remember looking at it and seeing like, wow, like this kid can do every single thing, like in terms of like talent and physique, but can you hone it in and like get him to fix his mechanics, to not overthrow, to make the right reads. And the fact that he's doing that in like year 3, it's scary because when you have a quarterback who can throw the ball 70 yards on the fly, but also run over your linebacker or jump over him, like what do you really? That's a terrible read option. Like they know that's in the bag and they still can't stop it because a
I have to
linebacker
play
might
honest.
a linebacker might not tackle him on the first hit. Like he rolling out, throwing across his body, like on the rolling out the other side on the every throw. And when you have Stephon Diggs and Cole Beasley just finding spots in zones, and it's
And Cole Beasley came back. Bro, who else? They signed somebody because Cole Beasley got hurt, and they're a stud too.
Kenny
I don't think
Stills?
Kenny Stills. Yeah, bro, we didn't see much of Kenny
I don't
Stills.
know if
But
he played him.
yeah, I don't think we saw much of him. But if they find a way to get him involved, oh my goodness, bro.
and the thing is, like, even Gabriel Davis was like putting on a show with these toe taps and finding
Oh yeah,
and John Brown. I'm not even sure John Brown is healthy right now, but they have so many, and then they just run the ball. They can run the ball like
whenever.
because you have to be honest. Like that's what I'm saying. Like you said, like if you're going shotgun and he fakes that, you have to sit for a second to make sure he's actually giving the ball to that running back, and that just gives that running back a few yards head start. And then their defense with Trey and all of them, like they just ball out. So
Jordan Poyer, they have a great secondary. Like what? Well, two things. Josh Allen jumping over Anthony Barr is the greatest play I've ever seen from a white athlete in my entire life. It's the greatest thing I've ever seen. I've never seen anything like that coming from a white athlete. Second, Zach Moss is down, so that could hurt. He's out for the rest of the playoffs.
Yeah.
So that could really hurt them. But they just picked up, I think, Devonta Freeman.
Yeah,
They signed Devonta Freeman, so I guess he has to go through COVID protocols till he gets back. But hopefully he can help that team. But the Bills are going to be dangerous for the next couple of years. They have all these guys locked up, and they enjoy being on the team, as cold as it is in Buffalo.
And even they lose Zach Moss, like Singletary and him.
Even talk about Stephon Diggs. Oh my goodness, that's crazy. We mentioned all those receivers and didn't say Stephon Diggs.
What can you say, bro?
And
it's a given.
And that's a great transition to get into our previews for next week because they're playing against Baltimore. And personally, I just think like you see how the way they loaded the box against Tannehill and Henry, they can't do that at all against the Bills. I mean,
will get killed
because the Bills can run the ball with Devin Singletary still, with Josh Allen as a runner, but you're gonna have to respect all of those receivers. Even Dawson Knox is a really solid tight end. Like they have so many weapons, and they like you said, they're gonna keep them honest. And I think like the passing game of the Ravens is really gonna have a lot of trouble. Hollywood Brown with Trey White.
Game.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. So Hollywood Brown, and then I mean they're gonna be throwing like Poyer or Micah Hyde at Mark Andrews.
Mark Andrews, yeah.
I'm almost positive they're the 31st ranked passing game in the NFL.
Yeah.
You know, it's 32.
Is it us? It's the New York Football Jets. God damn it! I didn't even want to talk about the Jets in this podcast. This is a playoff podcast,
And that's the last we'll hear about them.
Yeah, that's the last one.
Fine with me. But I mean, if there is a team to play, load the box and then stick one-on-ones on the outside, I guess with having Trey White, you're the team that can do it. So what do you think? Because I know we're going a little long on the NFL predictions here, but where do you guys think that who wins that game?
I got Buffalo.
Yeah, I would also have to take the Bills.
I also take Buffalo.
Just
We're
overpowering.
going perfect back-to-back weeks. Let's do it.
Yeah, I'm just gonna say whatever Obi says because groupthink worked last time, so I'm just gonna rock with it.
The Seahawks.
The next game is not the Seahawks, but the Rams, facing the Packers at Lambeau Field, the frozen tundra. And I don't even,
bad man.
Nah, yeah, I'm going with Aaron Rodgers, and I'm not betting against him until he plays that boy Patrick. So I'm gonna go with Aaron Rodgers. Devontae's too much. Even for Jalen Ramsey, he might be. That's gonna be a great matchup to see, though.
Too much for everyone. He's number one.
But
That's gonna be a crazy matchup. Oh my goodness.
Aaron Jones and that O line going at Aaron Donald. It's gonna be, and that Packers defense has recently the knock has always been that the defense is a joke. So Rodgers has to go score all these points. It's not like that anymore. That front
Smith brothers,
that front seven, and then you have
Jair
Alexander and it's gonna be who's their safety that?
No, not even Jair. They got Desmond King too.
Yeah,
Desmond King is nice.
So yeah, I mean obviously you can't sleep on that defense, but I don't see them giving them enough problems. I'm going with the Green Bay Packers.
I'm taking the Packers as well.
So that takes us to Arrowhead Stadium. Baker Mayfield.
Let's go quick with this one, man.
Yeah, Kansas City Chiefs.
Clap. Kansas City clap. Kansas City clap is what I'm expecting in this game.
I would love to see a great game, but I'm not. No one in their right mind will go onto a podcast in front of people and bet against the Kansas City Chiefs.
460 yards from Patrick Mahomes, 4 touchdowns.
I'm not betting against them. So, Kansas City.
This is going to be I'm also taking the Chiefs. This next game is going to be the closest game I think we see in all these divisional round games.
I 100% agree.
Yeah, because the Saints look slow. And the Buccaneers did look kind of slow, but like Obi said, Tom Brady and AB seem to be on point. And I guess it comes down to a battle of the defenses.
I don't know. I'm taking wow, this is a tough one. I trust Brady more than I trust Breeze right now. I trust their weapons more than I trust the Saints' weapons. I trust Todd Bowles' defense more than I trust the Saints' defense. I don't know. The Saints are 3-point favorites. But, I mean, an empty Superdome does not have the same effect. So, Tom Brady indoors is going to be a real interesting sight. And then they have all those running backs to throw out at you. Like, even if worse goes to worse and Ronald Jones, Fournette, and I forgot who else is having a bad game, they'll say, yo, Shady, get in here and see what you got. They have weapons for days. And it's going to be – I mean, the Saints are a 3-point favorite, but I would have to bet against that. And I'm going to go with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Yeah, you want Buccaneers too?
No, I'm gonna go. I was waiting for you, but I'm gonna take the Saints in this game. I think Drew Brees has a lot on this game going into the future, so I'm gonna have to go New Orleans.
No groupthink.
It's close for me.
Tie.
It's close for me. It's close for me because I do like the stats do show that when Brady is hurried and he doesn't have time in the pocket. I believe his quarterback comparison, bro. I forgot. It was somebody crazy, but it wasn't good. It was like bottom tier of the league. But
Daniel Jones.
Anyway, I ain't say it. He took a shot, but I didn't say it. But I feel like
my trust in Colt McCoy.
You can't let Brady see that team for the third time this year. And for him not to come out with a dub at least once, And I can't bet on that, man. I gotta go Brady.
Especially after that beat down
That
on
beat down was crazy, bro.
on Sunday Night Football. Yeah.
I don't think I'm betting against Brady on that one.
And the way that Brady is with film and stuff, like he definitely knows everything that they're gonna throw at him.
Oh my god, you think he's a demon in film in the regular season, bro? On playoff time, everybody's watching that shit, bro.
And he got a lot to prove, so it's gonna be interesting. But that wraps up our NFL previews. We'll see and go back next week, and we'll come and see back how many of these picks we actually got right.
Mike gets all of them wrong.
I'll say.
Whoa, don't say that because he kind of went the same route as me.
Good
oh, my fault. Mike and Obi get them wrong.
Good thing we're not keeping score or anything like that. But yeah, that wraps up our NFL segment. And now we're going to transition to the NBA. So last time we talked to you guys, the season was just underway. It was like 3 games in. I mean, me and Isaiah were excited about the Knicks beating Obi's Bucks, and now that feels like years ago. So we're going to go through division by division and give you our biggest surprises and our biggest disappointments. These disappointments and surprises could be from a player, a coach, a team's record, anything. So it's going to be a very interesting segment. So we're going to start in the Atlantic, and we're each going to give you our surprise and disappointments. Obi, would you like to kick it off for us?
Yeah, so in the Atlantic Division, I'm giving you both, right?
Yeah.
In the Atlantic Division, I got my surprise. Well, it's not a surprise to you guys because I told you how impressed I am with this individual. But my surprise is Julius Randle. My boy is averaging more points, rebounds, and assists than LeBron James at the moment. And the Knicks are competitive. My basketball comparison, Julius Randle doesn't seem too bad anymore. So, and then my disappointment is that the Toronto Raptors suck. They're garbage. Oh my God! Back-to-back games, you have a chance to win the game, and what do? You give it to Spinny P.
Bro, people are just posting. Bro, remember the fidget spinners, bro? The people are posting that in the comments.
Bro, they was posting the spin Jago shit, bro. Oh my goodness,
bro. 2 games in a row.
Bro, how do you pay Fred VanVleet all that money for him not to take that last shot? That's absolutely crazy.
I tell you who would let him take the last shot. Mike, turn that camera up. Show him the flag. Nah. Yeah, I don't know if Mike's is the same, but my disappointment is the same. Just the Raptors just being like the Raptors are just bad. Like they can't finish games. They haven't always had that star, but like they just seemed to like 5 games in, they were talking about we need this game for our confidence, like down bad. It was scary. It was scary to see these guys. Their somber tones.
2.
They have 2 wins.
And they beat the Knicks when the Knicks shot a historically bad 3 for 36, and we're down by 2 in the fourth quarter. So if they made 20% of their threes, they won that game by 15. And who's your surprise there?
My surprise is not really a surprise to everyone else, but it is a surprise to me. The Nets being as good as they are. I've been watching a lot of Nets games just because they're compared to the Knicks. It's my surprise, bro. I told you I thought the Nets were going to be bad. I thought Steve Nash did not know how to coach. I thought Amari Stoudemire didn't know. All right, bro. You going to make fun of me?
They're good?
You going to make fun of me? The Nets aren't
that's
terrible.
That's why I got to make fun of you. You see? Because of him right there.
You don't think they're good?
They're not great. They're fine right now.
They're good.
They're okay, but I've seen enough of them playing to know that Kyrie and KD on the floor together.
Kyrie and KD, who's that?
I said that.
You did.
You did.
I had a stroke just now. Oh my goodness!
I don't know how you did that so fluidly, though.
I'm alive.
You mixed them up perfectly.
I must be dyslexic or something. But Kyrie and Kevin Durant. Kyrie and Kevin Durant. No, they're scary and they're actually pretty good. Kyrie can't touch the floor right now. Kyrie, they really are. They really seem like they will be dominant in the East.
Yeah. So my disappointment. I was gonna go out of my way if the Nets lost today to say it was them because they would be 5-7 just to get Obi mad, but they won, so I'll give them the night off. Especially because they're going to bully my New York Knicks tomorrow. The Toronto Raptors, of course, obviously don't have to say much about it. 2-8, going from where they were last year. The team, I mean, they're missing a few pieces. Like they lost Ibaka, but not enough for them to be this bad. So there's that. And then I think my biggest surprise. I think I'm gonna have to go with Obi here with like Julius Randle. And the Knicks being competitive. I mean, I don't think there's that many surprises in this division so far. Surprise in like a bad way is like Toronto being bad, but I think the Knicks being 5-6 after having the toughest schedule to start the season is very impressive. They're on a little bit of a losing streak right now, but I mean they have to find ways to score with so many people being hurt. So Julius Randle playing at this level and them having a top 10 defense in the NBA to this point, I mean that's a win for me.
And you gotta give the Knicks their credit. You guys are on a losing streak, but it's not like they're blowouts. Like you guys are being competitive. So,
I mean, the Denver game was pretty bad, and last night
It
was
was awful.
Last night was. I mean, Hayward went stupid in the first half, and they just can't. They're playing top 10 defense, but they also have like a bottom 5 offense because they just don't have the scoring. So if they could get consistent scoring, they'd be winning a lot more games. But if you told me 5-6 3 weeks ago, I would sign up for that. So.
I think if we're talking NBA, we should also mention kind of Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown being as good as they are as a tandem and as dominant without Kemba Walker on the floor. I think that team is scary, even though a lot of them are catching the virus and the games are getting postponed. God forbid the NBA gets canceled or anything. Knock on wood. But yeah, that's like we saw some of that in the NFL when the Denver Broncos didn't have a quarterback to play, so they started a wide receiver from the practice squad. So hopefully we don't have to see that kind of stuff for the NBA, and the games just get pushed back way too far.
Since you put up that last surprise, I think we should talk about KD averaging 30 off an Achilles tear.
No, I think we should move on to the next division, and that division would be the Central Division.
This is an anti-Nets podcast.
I'm not a part of that anti-Nets equation, so
that's fine. We'll block you from talking about Nets.
We just won't let you. All right,
you will be censored. You will be censored.
The platform.
It's not a democracy.
This is Twitter.
It's a socialist.
All right, Obi, Central Division. Surprises, disappointments.
Well, it's not a surprise to me because I've been talking about them boys, but the Cleveland Cavaliers and the emergence of Sexland.
Sexland, going with the nickname.
Yes, man. I've been trying to tell you, Mike. Colin Sexton is that dude. Yes, don't squint. Yes.
Wait, didn't I say that Colin Sexton was better than Buddy Hield and you laughed at me?
Oh, you did?
Yes, that was the tweet, and I said that he was a glorified spot-up shooter, and then I said Sexton was better than him.
Oh, wasn't there something that you said glorified six man?
No, I said Buddy Hield was a glorified spot-up shooter. I said he was in the same graphic, and I picked Sexton over Buddy Hield.
There was something else with glorified six man. I don't remember what I'm.
Well, I said Sexton was better than Buddy Hield. I wasn't that fond of Sexton, but that was my take.
If you need a scapegoat, I was in the opposite camp. I thought Buddy Hield was better than Colin Sexton, but I just really like Buddy Hield coming out of college.
Well, we'll figure that out later. But
the receipts are right here.
I'm saying that's the receipts. But and then Darius Garland, even though he's kind of been like, I think he's been hurt. He's just playing through injuries and everything. But he started off the season really well. The three balls up there, and he's finally like learning how to attack the basket, drawing fouls. You know, it was gonna come with the experience and everything, but Cleveland's competitive. Like it's a nice sight to see. You got Isaac Okoro over there balling as well. JaVale McGee is doing whatever he feels like and getting buckets.
The goofball that he is.
I'm saying, the athletic, long ass goofball that he is. And then my disappointment, I gotta tell you, Mike, Killian Hayes.
My disappointment too. What do you mean? It's hard to tell me. I agree.
I tried to tell him. I was watching the film, and that boy, he can't even handle a defense in wherever the hell he was playing, France, Germany, whatever. You're picking up your handle in Germany, and you expect to be okay in the NBA. Like, I tried to tell him, Mike, but
in my defense of Killian Hayes, it's only been like 7 games, so I will defend him for 3 more years and then give up. So,
well, he broke his hip.
Yeah,
so
broke.
So it won't be good.
Yeah, we'll get back to this debate in 2024 when he's almost
4 points, 1 rebound, 3 assists. He
That-
got starter minutes. Let's not forget, boys. He got starter minutes. 30 minutes.
He is not doing a
Putting
lot.
up that bullshit.
I'm trying to figure out where I can make fun of the Bucks in here. I don't know if it's possible, but Isaiah, what are yours?
In the Central Division, my surprise is that Jeremy Grant is the best player on a team, leaving the Denver Nuggets. I think right now he's doing all the scoring for Detroit. He's averaging 25, 6, and 2, which is really big for him, I guess. He's definitely in the running for most improved, but I don't think he's really improved much. I just think now he's on a team where he can shine. I thought he was really good for Denver, and I thought Denver giving him up would be really bad for them. And who knows? They're still playing well. But yeah, I think Jeremy Grant is a really good role player who, can cross over to that like all-star level at times when you need him to, but he can't fully stay there. I don't think, not on a really good team. My disappointment is the Bulls are losing a lot of games. I keep looking at this and now I'm thinking it's like a surprise. It's a surprise because the stat that I looked at before this, where I was like, oh my God, was that the Bulls were averaging like they're 6th in the league for most points per game for a team. And I don't really think there's a lot on that team for them to be scoring. So I guess the disappointment is Zach LaVine going wild and his scoring efforts being in vain and them not really winning a lot of close games.
Yeah, no. So my disappointment is Killian, just because I really did think he was going to be solid, but I guess that was too quick to let him learn the NBA game. So
Almost pulled the trigger on a jersey. Go ahead.
It wasn't an expensive jersey, so don't laugh at me that much. It was DH Gates,
a fake one.
A sponsor. DH Gate link in the. Y'all want to sponsor us, please? I ordered my Obi Toppin jersey 6 weeks ago. It's still not here, so it better get here soon. Because I don't know where it is, but it says in transit, and it said that way for since the preseason.
I know where it started.
I'm saying, and let's see where it ends up. My biggest surprise is I'm gonna go with Zach LaVine. Just because he had an amazing season last year, but the way he's taking it to another level this year, like even though they're losing games, scoring like 40 points and putting up ridiculous numbers and kind of putting that team on his back. I mean, defensively, it was kind of going to be obvious that they were going to struggle because the only person who plays defense on that team is Patrick Williams. So they're losing a lot of high-scoring games, but, I mean, what he's done is nothing short of impressive. And, I mean, like you said it. Like, they're 4-7, I believe. Yeah, 4-7, I believe. And 2 of those or 3 of those have been really close games. So they can easily be a 500 basketball team. So
their LA trips. Yeah. Where they played the Clippers. Zach LaVine went crazy in both of those.
45. I think it was 40 apiece, actually.
And that's two brutal games for a team of like the Chicago Bulls. So I mean, if you look at them and they have a real coach now, I mean, I think 4-7 with those losses to 2 legitimate contenders, I think you will take that if you're a Bulls fan. Shout out Farouk. Our next division
Chicago
is
native Farouk.
Our friend on PlayStation.
Native son of Chicago.
Fly_Farouk.
The greatest 2K20 player.
I'm saying Irish everything.
Cash out Rook.
Cash out Rook for real.
F.cud.
Mainstay of the Twitter group chat. Anyway, Southeast Division. Biggest Obi disappointments and surprises.
All right. My biggest surprise in the Southeast is that they're letting the Charlotte Hornets are letting LaMelo Ball play his game and still finding him minutes off the bench, and they're still staying competitive. I feel like if you're LeVar Ball, yeah, I get it. Your son's not starting, but he's still getting almost 30 minutes a game, putting up triple doubles, and you guys are finding a way to win games. That's pretty impressive. And it's not hindering the team at all. And I feel like my disappointment, it would kind of compare to you guys' disappointment with Zach LaVine, but the Wizards can't help Bradley Beal at all. It's sad. Westbrook, you would think Westbrook would know by now, he should not be playing through injuries. He's at that point in his career where he needs to preserve himself. He was trying to do it, and it was hindering the team. It was obvious that he was trying to do it. And then you got and then Thomas Bryant just tore his ACL, 2 nights ago.
Yeah, that's bad.
If you're the Wizards, what do you do now? I feel like you guys are not in win-win situation. Nobody's taking Westbrook like all ever. Like he's stuck in Washington. And then like, what do you do about Bradley Beal, man? Like, you guys got to restart badly, but
I mean, I feel like their best option is to just trade Bradley Beal, get assets, and then let Russ do whatever Russ can do in the East for 2 years by himself, and just say, like,
With
eh,
Denny.
yeah, there's no point of sitting on that kind of asset, and because it's only going to deteriorate over time. So you might as well get something while you can, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. My surprise and disappointment is the same as Obi. Really, I just think the Hornets, LaMelo Ball, not getting a lot of minutes. I just feel like they're working him into the lineup and they're just slowly giving him more and more minutes. So he's definitely going to be a big factor to that team because they do play him a majority of the game. But I think that entire team, like how well Miles Bridges is benefiting from having LaMelo on the floor. I think Gordon Hayward um, is really trying to go out there and prove why he got all that money to go to that team. Of course, it's easy to score 44 on the Knicks, but like still to have that kind of production, I think Gordon Hayward's a really good player. But yeah, Bradley Beal, yeah, that's just a bad situation for him. I mean, I guess he still wants to be there in Washington, but as you can see, the entire District of Columbia really isn't going great over there. It's really a garbage town over there. And stuff is going bad over there. But we're not gonna get too political.
Riots. Riots again.
Yeah, we're gonna.
Shout out G Herbo, man.
Man, yeah, definitely a interesting week for Washington as a city as a whole, sports and otherwise.
Interesting is just to say the least.
A massive understatement. So yeah, I think my disappointment has to be the Wizards, but more specifically like Russ. Just because like the numbers are there, but like the impact on winning that we expected in the East isn't as much, and like not even the fact that like he had a 3-8, but not even like 5-5 or in that realm like that. That's just not great for them. So to see how he bounces back when he comes back from injury, to see if he'll be able to pick up his play and really execute and be what they need. That's going to be really telling for him, and like obviously that has all the impacts on what happens next with Bradley Beal. Then my biggest surprise, similarly, is the Hornets, but it's not just the Hornets' like their success, but how they're doing it. Like you said, finding minutes for LaMelo Ball, but also making that 3-point guard situation really work. Like Devontae Graham hasn't been great, but he's still getting
figuring out lately though.
Yeah, he's been figuring it out as of late, and like he's still getting his same minutes. Terry Rozier is putting up like 20 a game, and then they still find a way to let like it just works well because like Terry Rozier and Devontae Graham aren't like true point guards. So when they bring him in and they shift him to the 2, they shift like Rozier or
Graham.
Graham to the 2. Like it lets LaMelo run the show, and then they have PJ Washington who's making threes and blocking shots. Miles Bridges jumping out the gym, like Hayward absolutely cooking to start this year, and then like
Martin twins.
But the Martin twins, Biombo's solid. Like they got an actual team down there, and they got like I don't think enough credit goes to James Borrego and what he's doing because making that work, knowing the spotlight that LaMelo is going to get, and to have him thriving in his role, like it's that team is very fun to watch with their athleticism and playmaking, shot making, all of that. So
especially without like the fanfare they're having there, but to add on to that point, like I think it's probably the same with all the Ball brothers because we've seen Lonzo be effective without really scoring the basketball, and us continuing to have faith in him, even though he doesn't put up that many numbers offensively. But LaMelo being like his first couple games, him not scoring, and people talking about him like, oh, maybe he wasn't the right choice or whatever. Like him being able to affect the game in so many other ways and being a big guard, like he can get a point when he needs to because he can back down a majority of the point guards. That's not the issue, but him being able to be so fluid in the offense and just blend with these guys immediately, like not really a real training camp or anything. Like you would think the mentality would be for him to score all the time, but he just loves to play the game of basketball and he can really get anyone involved that he wants to. Miles Bridges is going to get a contract
because of LaMelo.
Off of LaMelo. Like he's elevating the game of everyone around him.
Yeah, because Bridges has been doing this for a couple of years. He just hasn't had the point guard to facilitate it. So now that he does, and like I think the last thing on Charlotte, like the impressive thing is like the way that they've been kind of like not hiding, but like kind of hiding LaMelo Ball and letting him kind of like free roam, and how they make rotations so well. So like
Oh my God,
let
he's good at finding the ball
yeah,
in those backside steals.
like anytime they always know when to switch or like send him on a double team, and they make the rotations to allow him to just like ball hawk, and like it works because it like kind of covers up for like his lack of ability on the ball directly and just lets him do those other things, and it's been really impressive to see him fly around the court.
Dude, he's so long.
Shout out James Borrego, man.
No, yeah, that's impressive. So now we're going to the Western Conference, and we're gonna start off out there in the Northwest. So
All right. So my surprise in the Northwestern Division, OKC is still competitive. I really couldn't tell you how the hell that shit is going on, but go on. And my disappointment, I didn't really have a disappointment for this conference only because Cat has been out for I think 3-4 games. I was gonna say the Timberwolves because they're pretty good on paper, but they're 3-7 right now. But Cat has been out, so I'll give them a pass. But I didn't realize how competitive that conference actually is. You got the Jazz, Trailblazers, Thunder, Nuggets, and the Timberwolves. That's a pretty competitive conference right there.
All right, so my surprise for that division is CJ McCollum has really been like going off for the Portland Trailblazers, and going into the season when we did our predictions, I was like, oh, like Dame is still going to be on Dame time, and not that he isn't, but it's
he
like
hasn't been.
but he really like hasn't been really taking over games like I thought he would to win MVP. But CJ McCollum has been that guy, and he's doing it effortlessly, and it's almost as if he's showcasing his offensive ability. Did you say you're a disappointment?
Yeah, I said I couldn't really find one.
My disappointment is, I guess as we saw tonight, just the Denver Nuggets not being able to close out games is kind of weird to me this season, with Jokic and Jamal Murray being as clutch as like they were they came down 3-1 the entire playoffs. So them like being able to do it in the clutch and be the underdog, I thought that was just a DNA that they really had. But maybe losing Jeremy Grant affects that or something. But that's kind of disappointing to me that they can't, like when the games are close in like the last 2 minutes of the fourth quarter, they can't really pull out wins.
I want to go back to your CJ McCollum point real quick. Pascal Siakam, if you're watching, you want to learn how to make a jump shot off a spin move in the fourth quarter, go watch what CJ McCollum did last night. That shit was so tough. Oh my goodness. Cash. Go ahead, Mike.
No, but CJ has always had the most unique dribble moves just to make up and like combos he has like a counter for everything. It's because of like his height playing at the 2. It's ridiculous. So yeah, my disappointment. I mean, I think I'm gonna go with Minnesota, but like it's not really like a true disappointment just because it's so early. Like we got to see how like Cat missing is a big part of the equation. I mean, obviously they're going to struggle in playing Western Conference teams with only D'Lo, and then the rest of the guys.
Anthony Edwards.
Right. So it's too early to tell, but there's not really anything else that stands out disappointment-wise for me. And then, yeah, my biggest surprise has to be OKC because everyone thought that Chris Paul was the magic, like, elixir for them last year. And the fact, I guess he's passed on a lot of that to Shai, I guess, and Shai learned a lot. And he's just the way that, like, they're a young team. Like, they play together. They move the ball. Like, they do all the things. Like, Dort has actually become went from like a defensive stopper that we saw to like an actual NBA player, like obviously defensively, but scoring on the offensive end. I mean, Hami's taking big steps up. I mean, Horford is solid for them just when they need a bucket and everyone else is struggling. Just knocking down jump shots and stuff. I mean, and Shai's on a different level right now. So
Shai got to be like a coach's dream, bro, because like you can tell he literally takes everything that you'll tell him how to fix up his mistakes, and he applies it to his game, bro. Like every little thing. Like, imagine having Chris Paul, bro. He clearly took advantage of Chris Paul as a teacher too, bro. Like that's amazing to me. Like that's great for him.
Yeah, Chris Paul and Schroeder too. 2 veterans.
Great vets. Great vets. At the point guard position, come on.
Doesn't get better than that.
So if you take that core and then you add in all these draft picks, like, or make a move for a star with those picks, like Sam Presti is a magician.
And what Pokashevsky could become.
Nah, he's
He's actually not
The
bad.
stuff he's not bad. The stuff that he can do at 7 feet tall
That's
and
ridiculous.
at night at the youngest player in the NBA is so scary. Like if you can run a 7-footer and pick and roll, there is like 2 other 7-footers in the NBA that can do that. And that's so scary. Like he came straight from the Greek second league and is playing in NBA minutes. Like he's gonna be a solid player.
No, he definitely looks malnourished though, so I hope they're eating him for sure because he doesn't look healthy whatsoever. It's really bad. Like it's really bad.
It's not great.
Giannis was malnourished. Look what he's become.
And then he started eating. That's what I'm saying. You get to America.
Started drinking them
GMOs. The GMOs.
Yeah, y'all gotta start feeding Poku, man. Y'all gotta
the GMOs.
helping Poku out. All right, Pacific, a very loaded division. Surprises, disappointments.
All right. So my surprise. Well, Mike, we talked about this earlier. I wasn't really sure how this player's jump shot was gonna translate in the NBA, but my biggest surprise is Tyrese
Halliburton.
That boy is a problem. Already affecting winning in Sacramento. Hold on. I put his stats in the bottom of this real quick. So right now, it's nothing crazy, but the percentages, bro, he's shooting 52% from the field, shooting 50% from 3. Bro, he's averaging 12 points and 5 assists a game and almost 2 steals.
Putting out tweets saying that the jumper wouldn't translate. This guy is quote tweeting the president and trolling him on Twitter. This guy is a quality NBA player.
Wait, what?
He's confident as all get up.
After like everything that happened in the Capitol, he went on like Twitter and was like quote tweeting like old Trump tweets and was just saying like shut up and like saying like you're a hypocrite and all this stuff. It was funny, but yeah, Tyrese Halliburton is doing his thing.
Yeah, that's not a surprise. And then my disappointment. Oh my god, my disappointment. Oh my god, bro. Paul George still finds a way to get fucking embarrassed every night, bro. Just shut up and play, bro. I'm tired of it. Bro, you know why I'm so upset about this? Because I will never forget 2 years ago, I tried to argue with you guys that Paul George might be better than Kawhi. But what does this man keep doing? He keeps proving us wrong. He's an idiot.
Us.
He's an idiot.
You. Not us. You.
Me, bro. Oh, my goodness. Stop talking. Bro, pull a Kyrie and stop talking to the media, bro. Because it always comes back.
But show up to the games, though. Do that, Paul.
You don't know what's going on in his family life. So
you don't either.
All right, but you should respect that, though.
I guess he was on. I saw him on a Zoom call today for some kind of
yeah, it's all right.
Volunteering thing.
Yeah.
All right, guys. That's enough. I don't think Steve Nash knows what's going on in his life either. Anyways,
we're gonna get like a 4th person that is not a netator to even this shit out.
I
don't think he knows what's going on at all. I don't think Steve Nash knows a goddamn.
Oh, and I wanted to say, bro, you lost to 50 points by a KP-less Mavs, and then Steph dropped 60 on your Mata, bro. Oh my goodness.
Including the step back threes over both of them to win the game.
Oh, like he's just going outside, bro. Like he needs to stop talking, bro. Just please stop talking. Do me a favor, because you're talented. You're definitely stepping up this year.
This guy's been waiting to say this all day.
Bro, yes, bro, because it's been bothering me, bro.
This guy clenched his.
Bro, why are you always in the clips, bro? Always in the clips, bro. It's either Steph, bro.
That is him.
Game. Oh my God, it's always somebody.
It's him, bro. I mean, there's got to be somebody though, right? At least he's stepping up to the poor guy. All right, I'm gonna go with my. Nah, it is him. Well, I'll tell you this: if there's 2 people who could guard the best player, it's Kawhi or Paul George. Now, Kawhi is not letting any of that happen to him. So it all falls on Paul George, is what I'm saying. It's okay to be the 2nd best defender on your team. Drop off is insane, though. All right.
Ridiculous.
My surprise in the Pacific is how quickly the Suns are clicking together. I don't know if either of you were going to choose that. So I put a backup one. I guess I shouldn't say it now, but I think the Warriors are playing really well too. My fault. Dang, I shouldn't have said it. No, but the Suns are clicking really well. I think that Chris Paul's point guard play is just so infectious and so like upbuilding to a team to make them play together. Yeah, and Jay Crowder is big too.
Breaking news.
I think the Heat are missing them as well.
Breaking news: Kelly Oubre made a 3. Continue, Isaiah.
Kelly Oubre has made 3s already.
Not this year. Years prior.
That wasn't the first. That wasn't the first.
I know. They should do like the Ben Simmons thing when they make.
Oh, that shit is so foul.
The red alert thing.
Two of them, bro. One on each side.
Red alert. Ben Simmons is in a 3.
No, I remember Obi. He made one. I told Obi, and Obi was tight. He said, "Does he want a cookie?"
They should do the Amber Alerts on your phone when you get that from Bleacher Report.
Oh nah. He did what?
That drives me. All right, my disappointment. It's hard to pick a disappointment from this team because the teams are all loaded in this division, and they're all the best teams. Like you said, even like Tyrese Halliburton, who's also a beast on the defensive end too. But I think Marvin Bagley not being the player we thought he was going to be yet this season, I think that's a disappointment for me because I don't really like Duke teams, but him coming out of Duke, I was like, wow, this kid like really is a monster. Like he could really do damage in the NBA. I think he came out the same year as DeAndre Ayton, right? From Arizona.
Yeah. 2-2.
Yeah, so I thought he was going to be better than DeAndre Ayton. I don't think there's no time left, but I just haven't seen it from him yet. So from this division, that's the biggest disappointment I could take.
These players got to start showing up on the court instead of rapping and shit, man.
Amen.
So,
because my next disappointment got something to do with that too.
Saying next year it's going to be Anthony Edwards.
Too quiet for a number 1 pick, if I do say so myself. But my biggest surprise is Golden State, because if you tune into the last podcast, you heard us saying, what the hell is wrong with the Golden State Warriors, and why are they so bad at basketball?
And Clay.
And Obi was ready to talking about, this is why I didn't want them in my playoff predictions. And now Steph said, yo, everyone get in my backpack. We're going to the playoffs. So
I got no choice. I don't care if you don't want to hit a 3 tonight, Kelly. Get in the backpack.
I'm saying, and Wiseman's playing well. Steph is just having fun, man. And on his revenge tour, Wiseman's really good. So, I mean, Draymond's doing his thing, like getting in that, like.
Bro, and I love that Draymond's been, like, encouraging him to start putting the ball down on the floor, bro.
Because he has a lot of talent at that size, like, that it's very special. And then, like Isaiah said, like, this division does not have a lot of disappointments, in my opinion. So I guess the disappointment would have to be, like, the Wiggins, like, Oubre tandem in a way. Like, not a big disappointment. But like,
I want you to chill off on Wiggins, though.
Wiggins has been fine, but like, I mean, there's.
But combined with Kelly Oubre,
yeah, if you add Oubre to the mix, then he puts Wiggins in his backpack in this metaphor. So I guess like there's not like too many shots at Oubre just because like, but I don't think there's that many disappointments, and he hasn't helped them as much as people thought he would. So, but I mean, he's putting it together. With Draymond coming back, definitely helped that team. So, I think they'll be fine, and I think Steph is showing why he is the best point guard in the NBA right now. And then our final division, the Southwest, before we get out of here.
Southwest, my surprise is the San Antonio Spurs. Them boys is balling out. It's a great look. Well, it's always going to be Spurs basketball, team basketball. But Keldon Johnson, for me, that was a big surprise. I wasn't really like high on him. I wasn't really sure what they were going to expect from him. But 13 points, 7 rebounds a game, and then Patty Mills off the bench is balling. I think Patty Mills averaging 15 points, bro. A calm 15 points, just shooting the lights out. And then my biggest disappointment, another player that probably should have waited before they started rapping. Yeah. I think you know who I'm talking about, man.
You're talking about him.
Yeah, that goofball.
You gave up on him so quick.
I didn't give up on him. He's disappointing right now because he can't make a layup yet. Like, bro, come on, bro. I can't keep watching him smoke layups, bro. Like, that's annoying, bro. Like, bro, it's gotten so bad to the point where in the offense, now he'll bring the ball up, hands it off, and he just sits in the corner now. He smoked that many layups to start the season, bro. Like, come on.
Back to that. No, yeah, that's bad. I guess I'm gonna keep it. This is I guess the bad part about you going first is because we think so alike altogether that you're gonna take all the things I'm gonna say. But yeah, Lonzo Ball has definitely been disappointing this year. He's had a couple of good games, but like he's not stringing them along enough for me to see his improvement. I mean, this guy, we can't clamor for this guy to win Most Improved every single year he plays. Like, you just got to improve, bro. You don't even need to win the award. Just get better. Just be better than you were last year. So that's bad. I also had my surprise as the Spurs, but I guess I could change it to just Christian Wood being good at basketball for the Houston Rockets. Like him bowling out, like we saw it like in a spurt again, or when like his last couple games for Detroit. But he seems to be on a mission this year. Was on a mission to see the Lakers and Anthony Davis, but that didn't work out too great for him
Hey,
tonight.
Wood, I know Shorty calling you now, man. Don't answer though. Don't answer, bro.
Bro, did you see the full story he put out, bro? He's
Yeah.
never gonna see this, so I don't care. But bro, that's so embarrassing to tell anyone the real story.
I'm telling anybody.
Like, why would you tell,
going on in my life, bro?
He said that night she broke up with me, bro, and just flew and left in the plane, bro. I was like, yo,
bro, imagine we find out
you want a Hallmark movie, bro? Like that is terrible.
Fake. You're gonna start looking at him like Manti Te'o
or Kevin Manti Te'o. But not Lonnie. I want to say Lonnie Walker and DeJounte Murray have really been taking big steps in the Greg Popovich offense. Like they are really big time players in this league.
Murray figuring out that dump shot.
Game changing. So my disappointment is Lonzo's part of it, but I guess the Pelicans as a whole, just like their lack of like winning. I mean, they've found a way to squander like leads, like big leads in first halves, like, and then like by the fourth quarter, all of a sudden they're completely out of the game, and I don't know how they keep doing it. But especially with Brandon Ingram being as consistent as he is, I mean, we thought that Van Gundy coming in with like seeing how like having a whole offseason to put in like with Zion and Lonzo and all that. I mean, Redick hasn't been great. Like their depth hasn't been great either. So just like that overall thing in New Orleans. And I mean, NBA executives are saying like they're one of the teams in the hunt for a superstar and like a blockbuster trade. So I mean, I guess that means Lonzo is probably going to be involved in that somehow.
You're right. Probably, you think?
Especially with Kyra Lewis, they have too.
Yeah, so I don't know. I mean, I'm not ready to completely give up on Lonzo yet, just because I think if he goes this offseason and signs somewhere where like he can pick where he wants to go and find some place that maybe makes sense for him and his game, then maybe he'll have one more chance. But I'm not going too far past that next season. And my biggest surprise, I mean, I look at Memphis and the fact that they're 4-6 right now without Ja Morant and without Jaren Jackson, like that goes talks about a lot about their coach. So I think that's very impressive, and to see, like, I think they're really building something great there because they draft so well. They have a coach. Yeah, Desmond Bane is ridiculous. I mean, they had Brendan Clark last year too, late in the first round, who's a stud himself. So like, if you
dang, you're not gonna talk about the son of Oregon. You're not gonna talk about Dylan Brooks. Dylan Brooks be lighting it up, bro.
I completely.
You said Gorgie Dang, bro.
Who said Gorgie Dang?
You didn't just say Gorgie Dang?
Brandon Clark.
Oh, you said Brandon Clark.
Oh, and Desmond Bane.
Oh, I just said dang.
Luau. So yeah, I mean, I think that's really impressive. I mean, obviously you get John Jaren Jackson back, and that's the two biggest pieces of that team. But the team that they're building, like the coach that obviously resonates with the players, all of that. I think that what they're building in Memphis is going under the radar, and 4-6 without them too is really impressive to start the season. But on that note, that wraps up the first Shoeless Joe's podcast episode of 2021. Let's clap it up. Great job, guys. And we'll try to be more consistent this year. We promise. We'll work on that. But yeah, like we got a lot of things planned. I mean, obviously,
Fans, man.
I don't know what fan Obi's a fan of, so I can't even make a joke. But we'll let that one slide. But we're getting closer to
a joke in itself
to the end of the NFL season.
I'll laugh when you guys get clapped tomorrow. Okay.
I'm saying because you don't know what team you support. This guy's
I support Kevin Durant. And Giannis like Umbo.
It's called the easy way out. I respect it.
Ezekiel Elliott,
CeeDee Lamb,
Jerry Jones,
naming players that Obi likes.
Troy
not
Aikman.
Not this time. It's the kid in the red sweater. It's you. It's you.
Who's wearing red?
No topping.
Colorblind.
Orange.
It
is
fuchsia.
White.
All right. On that note, we really appreciate you guys tuning in. We're gonna be here through the NBA season, whatever ends up occurring with that, and everything going on. So we already knocked on wood, so we don't gotta do it again. But just in case, we're just gonna make sure everything's good there.
I think my house is made of wood. Knocking on brick. Go ahead.
But we're going to be there to walk you guys through it, and we're very excited for another year of the Shoeless Joes, and we're going to keep trying to do like other content and see if you guys like that and keep building. So
be on the lookout for that. Be on the lookout for me taking Mike Tinkles, Martin Isaiah. Be on the lookout.
I'll let the film speak for itself. I'm not even going to entertain that one.
I will also do the same.
And in the comments, I have a question for you guys. If someone makes a step back jump shot and it hits only the net, is that called a heave or a make?
Oh my god!
It's been a highly debated subject, and we just
my god!
I don't want to.
Up in the air.
Yeah, I tried it like this, bro. All right. Anyway, I made enough of them that they're called multiple heaves. Isaiah, put Pascal Siakam away. What are you doing? Stop doing that. All right, but like you said, so we'll have a bunch of new content out.
Spicy.
Follow all the socials. We already plugged them at the beginning, but if you made it here again and you're not following, I don't know what you're doing.
Or if you skip to the end.
If you made it this far and you're not following, I mean, that's kind of weird.
Shout out to the Long Island Nets.
You're a weirdo.
Access to their facility. You guys have seen them a little bit.
I'm saying, but they revoked it, so not shout out currently. Yes, we can. If you didn't know, Isaiah is permanent. It's not permanent. Temporarily closed. So we might have to find a new home to
revoked.
To heave shots, but
on
that note,
too personal here.
At Shoeless Joe's Pod,
not win a game.
Not Cap. When it was you two, I won.
Shoeless Joe's Pod on the socials. At Shoeless Joe's Pod. Thank you for pulling up.
K run threw a curveball into the equation, but thank you guys for listening, and we'll catch you all next week.